Why is this map important? This map actually shows the size of Egypt compared to America. You see how big it is? You see how vast it is? Let me break it down to you a little bit easier for you to understand. In order to drive from the top of Egypt to the most southern point of Egypt, it would take you just over 15 hours of driving. That's a long way, right? And it reminds me of the time frame when I was in the Marine Corps and we was going through the Suez Canal. It took us so long to go through the Suez Canal and the Red Sea that they gave us liberty, that we were able to either go to Egypt or go to Saudi Arabia. The first year, I went to Egypt. The second year, I went to Saudi Arabia. But you were gone all day long, 8 hours or so. And you had the opportunity to go do that because it's such a long trip from the top of Egypt all the way down to the bottom of Egypt. So why is this important? I was doing some light reading, and in my light reading, one of the first things that I noticed is that it said that the population of Egypt during the time frame of the so-called Exodus, which would have been around 2450 BCE, that the total population of Egypt was 1.6 million. And since we're in our series of What's Wrong with the Bible, and we've been reading through it, and when they've done this, did a census in Exodus and a census in Leviticus, well, a census in Numbers, not Leviticus, in Numbers, they counted the war-fighting men to be over 600,000. And then it's estimated that there were probably another million, 1.5 million people that also left in Exodus. Well, if they only had 1.6 million people in Egypt, you mean to tell me that damn near all of them were the Hebrew slaves? Doesn't sound right, does it? Nah. And then the fact that, according to this story, these plagues were happening all over Egypt. Now, it takes 15 hours to drive from the top to the bottom. They didn't have those roads. They didn't have cars. They didn't have airplanes. They didn't have any of those kinds of methods of communication. No telephones, no internet. You mean to tell me that people in the most southern part of Egypt was experiencing all these issues and had no idea why? You mean to tell me that, and you know there had to have been slaves, if there were slaves all throughout Egypt, there would have been Hebrew slaves, but yet they all gathered somehow over this 1 month time frame of the plagues going on? And although your Bible says that the majority of them were up in the delta, from Alexandria to Cairo is still a long ass way from the top of the delta to the bottom of the delta. There is absolutely no way that they communicated with each other for that great a distance. It's just further proof that this Exodus story is a made-up story. But y'all have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.